In this video, we'll be talking about decimal numbers. We've already spent some time talking about numbers in our base 10 system and the importance of place value. So let's fill in the place values that we've discussed. We have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. We would consider these numbers in these places to the left of the decimal point to correspond with integers. Integers include the whole numbers that we've been working with, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And they also include the corresponding negative numbers, so -1, -2, -3. In elementary school, we deal with the whole numbers, and then in middle school, we extend to include the integers, the negative numbers. When we introduce the decimal point, so this is our decimal point right here, to the right of the decimal point, this is the fractional part of the number. Because we're in the base 10 system in our decimal numbers, our fractional parts will have powers of 10 in the denominator. We'll have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Here you notice that all of the fractional parts end in the th, whereas they don't on the integer side. When we speak a decimal number, we say the entire integer part or the entire whole number part. The decimal point we read as and. Then we start saying whatever number is to the right of the decimal place as if it were a whole number, except we tack on the name of the final place value. So if we were to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, we would read this as 123 and 45 hundredths. We often get lazy and say 123.45 or 123.45, but to be technically correct, we would read this as 123 and 45 hundredths. In our base 10 system, we're working with groups of 10. So as soon as we have 10 ones, we have a 10. So groups of 10 here. 10 tens make 100. 10 hundredths make 1,000. We're dealing with powers of 10. This extends to the right of the decimal as well. 10 tenths makes 1. 10 hundredths makes a tenth. 10 thousandths makes a hundredth. Oops, I added a 0 in there. We can write this in terms of exponential form, where here with the ones we have 10 to the 0. Tens are 10 to the first power. Hundreds are 10 squared. You can think about that as our 10 by 10 flat. Thousands are 10 cubed. That was our 10 by 10 by 10 cube that we formed there. When we go to the fractional part, we now use negative exponents. So 1/10 is 10 to the -1. 100th is 10 to the -2. 1,000th is 10 to the -3. And obviously we can extend further to the left and the right here, going to the 10,000s and the 10,000ths and such. Now, one thing that's important to note here is that our symmetry falls along the 1. So if I go to the left of 1, I have tens. To the right of 1, I have tenths. So that's where our symmetry is. The symmetry is not around the decimal point. This can be a source of confusion for students. For example, a student might think that if we wanted to write 23 and 4/10, that you would have something like this: the tens place, the ones place, and then because the tens place is 2 places to the left of the decimal, they think that the tenths place should be 2 places to the right of the decimal. It's an understandable mistake, but again, it's important to note that the symmetry is around the 1.